Hello and good afternoon to all the good viewers of this program who are watching this program with us on a weekly basis and for the first time as well. Allow me to share the link of this program in our Telegram page for those who want to see it live. I'm not sure why it didn't go in properly. Let me share it again. Okay, let me see if the one that I sent works or not. Yeah, that one works. That's fine. All right, perfect. I have it as well. Anyone who wants the link, now you can see it in our Telegram, so you can join us. Today we have a big program for you, a program that will be definitely more than an hour long. And so we are going to start the sharing process of that program so that you will have it and we can go through it together. For the English community, this may not be as long as it was for the Persian community, because simply for you already know half of the story. So we will just carry the other half of the story. So we will start with this link up here from NPR. As you can see, it says jury ordered Trump to pay $83 million in defaming columnist E.G.N. Carroll, which is this retarded lady in the middle. Okay, this one. A little bit of a backstory of what happened. As you know, when Donald Trump became the president of the United States, this woman was one of the women that jumped up and down like a chimpanzee, a European version of it, and was complaining that Donald Trump raped her. Then she changed her words. It was no longer rape, but it was sexually assault. She can't remember. Ladies and gentlemen, she can't remember. She doesn't know the difference. And then at that time, she came up with this weird story about how this clothing that she wore on this magazine is what she was wearing when she was with Donald Trump. And at that time, this clothing affected Donald Trump in such a manner that he just couldn't resist. And he had to go in and take advantage of it. The story gets even more twisted and out of the ordinary because apparently she was following Donald Trump as he was going to a famous store where, you buy suits and whatnot for the super rich. And all of you who bought a suit or two before know when you go to a regular store, somebody's there to help you and they want to be with you. And when you go to the changing room, they're standing outside and they're giving you clothing and this and that. Well, in the rich ones, you have more than one person following you, and they come inside because when they come inside, they want to make sure everything's tailor-made, custom. Make sure the feet, the length, everything's good. The hands, sleeves, everything's good. The waist, the back, the chest, everything's perfect. And when you're a celebrity, like Donald Trump was back in the day when he was in Home Alone and many other places, and, they knew him very well. And at that time, when you're a celebrity, more people, and they come inside the changing room. So this woman alleges that she went with Donald Trump. She followed Donald Trump inside that room. With all those people inside that room, supposedly, Donald Trump either raped her or sexually assaulted. One of the two. Well, in the first court case, Donald Trump's lawyers were able to prove that this picture that you see here with this black clothing, like she's getting ready for a funeral, this clothing She wore this for this magazine for the very first time years later than the year she was alleging Donald J. Trump did whatever it is that she thinks Donald J. Trump did to her. Therefore, for her second court case against Trump, which is recent, because as you know, Donald Trump's running for president again, so here she comes again. She was nowhere to be found when Donald Trump was not running for presidency, but once he says he's running for presidency, here she pops out again like a mushroom out of the ground. And this time, she can't remember what year. And also, when she was taken and put on the CNN program of this other idiot, the former CIA agent, who then turned into a news anchor, the guy who supported Hezbollah of Lebanon when Israel and Lebanon were in a war, and he was running behind the Hezbollah of Lebanon's terrorist organization from one street to another street and pretending like how the Hezbollah of Lebanon have the Israeli IDF in the palm of their hand and all that crap. Anderson Cooper, you can go and see the video for yourself, asks her, so you're saying that Donald Trump raped you? And she goes, well, no, it was, he just assaulted me. Rape is a fantasy. And then turns around and tells this guy, who's gay, by the way, you're a very interesting person. I want to get to know you better. You say that to someone you want to date and go have, you know what with, in the bedroom. Dingy dingy. Anderson Cooper looks at her like, what planet did she just come from? I can't train her on anything. But why do we cover this? This news is everywhere. It's on Twitter. It's in the news agencies, Democrat news, Republican news, you name it news. Your sister's boyfriend's buttocks news. Everywhere they cover it. But here's the next link. And this link takes you to this page where they talk about two men said they had affairs with Nikki Haley. Namorada Haley, who's married, had two boyfriends while she was married. January 19th, 2024, sworn affidavits claim that Nikki Haley had at least two extramarital affairs before she became governor of California. No, she had it even while she was governor. Here's the next link. Nikki Haley did cheat on her husband, Michael, had affairs with her consulate, married the South Carolina lobbyist before, it's all over the place. The first guy, she was dating for a year while her husband was deployed to Afghanistan. She used to have sex with him in the family car. They would park in plazas, behind restaurants, you name it. In fact, with that first boyfriend, the boy toy, she even had sex with him in her governor office. Where important files are kept and you don't want anyone to have, connections, or I don't know what you want to call it, be able to just grab them with their hand when you're not looking. And anyway, that guy then dumped her because he found the love of his life a year later. Even Daily Mail covered it. Daily Wire covered it. Everyone's covered it. The second guy is even worse. The second guy was a lobbyist. By the way, they did the same thing. Go to the motels and the hotels and the blah, 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 and family car and everything else. Cameras have caught her all over the place. Nikki Haley denies all of this. But you know, I know, and her husband knows what she's been up to. She's been doing this since 2008. Yet she says she's faithful, very faithful. You can't believe a word she says. This is the same Nikki Haley who says when she was growing up, she went for a beauty pageant, but they wouldn't let her in because she wasn't white enough to be in the white beauty pageant, and she wasn't black enough to be in the black beauty pageant, and she was brown in the middle, and there was no pageant for her because there was no Indian pageant. I don't know what planet she's living on, but slavery in the United States was abolished before she was born. Segregation was abolished before she was born. So which year was she a beauty pageant where they told her when she walked in the room, the black folks and the white folks got together and they said, wait. She can't be part of our group and she can't be part of your group. Who let her in? I mean, even when she says something, you can see right through it. This is her picture. That's her husband. And these are her two kids. You know that they're not his kids. I mean, just look at the features in the face. They all look like her. None of them seem to look like that. If I was the husband, I want to do a genetic test because I want to know if they're really my kids or not. These two are her boyfriends. The next link takes us to another program of Nikki Haley's where it talks about how she had conflicts with politics and produced financial dividends during her career life, all because they want to cover up how she had so many affairs with other men who have eyewitness people who worked for Nikki Haley at the time she was governor, who are witnesses to all the sex scandals that she has. But of course, we have to be fair. We have to be fair. Neither did MSNBC, CNN, Fox, Newsmax, ABC, CBS, PBS, BBC, CTV, City TV, or any other channels in North America cover this thing. Nobody wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Not Vice, not Mice, not Pice, not anyone. It's Nikki Haley after all. How can you touch it? Nikki Haley also says she was called brown when she was at school. I mean, look at this. Look. Huh? This guy is a white guy. And that's Nikki Haley. And that's a white guy. If you didn't know that Nikki Haley is Indian, you would think she's white. But Nikki Haley says when she grew up, she was the only brown kid. So what happened to the black kids? I mean, if we go and we take a picture of you from your graduation from school, we see that half the kids in your class were black. So are you telling me that the black kids in your school, when you were a kid, they used to call you brown? No way. But that's Nikki Haley for you. She's losing in the polls. So she now says, oh, I was a brown kid. That's why you don't want to vote for me, because I used to be mocked for being brown. I remember there was a guy, his name is Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, I mean, I talked a lot about Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy. You guys remember Vivek Ramaswamy? I mean, he was the brownest guy running in the Republican nomination for president. The brownest guy. She called him scum. You're scum. Sounds like she was doing the bullying to the poor Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy didn't attack her for that. He attacked her on what she does as a governor, what she did as representative to the UN. Where Vivek Ramaswamy, we have to be fair to him. We attacked him a lot. But in this one area, at least Vivek Ramaswamy didn't resort to name calling another brown person. But this woman who says she's brown and everyone attacks her for being brown, and she's the brownest of the browns, she sure went out to call another brown person scum. Is she trying to say she's brown, therefore she's not the bad person? She knows about slavery because she's brown, but she attacks other browns? Very interesting. Very interesting. The next link, it goes to Nikki Haley, Namorada's third boyfriend. By the way, the second one that was the lobbyist, he got a divorce. His wife divorced him after finding out about him and Namorada Haley. And Namorada's third alleged boyfriend also has a wife. And his name happens to be Chris Sununu, the governor of New Hampshire. The two of them are like a cat and the tail of a cat. Wherever the cat goes, the tail is. He jumps on every single program. He starts the day with CNN, then MSNBC, then ABC, then he's CBS, then PBC, then this one and that one. Finally, at the end of the night, he finishes it off with Fox News. And he has to go on all of them. And he has to tell them how Nikki Haley's going to win. Nikki Haley's doing well. Nikki Haley's doing this. And for half of them, Nikki Haley will sit right beside, as if they're going to be merged into one. And then they catch them late in the night in Chris Sununu's car. Neither is the wife of Chris Sununu there, nor the husband of Nikki Haley. But all the windows in the car are fogged up. I wonder what they were doing there with the fogged up windows late at night. Just the two of us. In their case, just the two of them. But Chris Sununu is running out everywhere, saying how he's going to stop Trump and how Nikki Haley is going to beat Trump. And then I have a video for you. This video will show you what Nikki Haley has been doing inside of New Hampshire. Everybody knows Nikki Haley was holding events in New Hampshire. Well, until you get the video on your screen, I will explain some background for you. When you look at the people that are showing up at the Nikki Haley events, you can split them into two parts. The first part is the news agents for the different channels that show up there. Some of them are newspaper writers, radio, whatever. And they're sitting there and they're listening. The second half is the ordinary common people. Well, that group, you can also split into three parts. You got the Rhino Republicans. You got the Democrats. And you got the Trump representatives who are there to make fun out of Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is a bird brain. She doesn't understand what's going on. So she falls for everything. If the volume is low, I do apologize. That's just how the video is. Until I get more powerful speakers, You just have to do. I will also repeat what is being said so that at least you can hear it from me. Let's listen to Nikki Haley.
But you know what? We've got a lot on the line here. We really do. And you look at what's happening in this election. Yes.
Somebody said, Nikki! And she said, yes. She stopped her speech because someone in the crowd said, Nikki! Like that. And she said, yes. Look at her, smiling and everything. Yes. Like somebody called my name. Yes. The gentleman responded, will you marry me? Let's see what Nikki Haley said. I mean, Nikki Haley has a husband. Nikki Haley has two people that have come out at this time to tell her they sworn on affidavits that what they're saying is true, that they slept with him. Nikki Haley has Chris Sununu and foggy windows of his car late at night. But yet, Nikki Haley, instead of saying the answer she's going to give to, will you marry me? We're going to see what Nikki Haley says.
Are you going to vote for me?
Are you going to vote for me? I mean, if you're going to vote for me, that's the only vote I'm going to get. Yeah, I'll marry you. I mean, I sell my my marriage for just a vote. You know, you give me a vote, I'll marry you. I'll marry you right now. I'll marry you in front of everybody. Let's see what the guy says.
Get out of here.
The guy says, no, I'm voting for Trump. And she goes, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're a heckler. You came and you heckled me. And look at this. Everybody's laughing. So now we learn people show up to Nikki Haley events only because they want to have a good laugh. And they know Nikki Haley's the clown to deliver the laughs. They'll come there and they'll say whatever. And Nikki Haley, she won't say, you realize I'm a married woman and I love my husband? Nope. That's not what comes out of Nikki Haley's mouth. Nikki Haley goes, are you going to vote for me? I mean, I'll sign whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. Just vote for me, okay? Well, if you're going to vote for me, I'll tell you I'll do whatever you want me to do. But if you're not voting for me, get out, get out, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. You don't need you around. The next one is the link to the poll right before the election. And they say Trump is leading by 15 points. And they talk about how it's likely to be 50 votes for Trump, 50%. And Nikki Haley is going to jump up at 35%. And she's going to do this. And they're going to do that. Blah, 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 blah. And Ron DeSantis suspended his campaign earlier today. Which brings us to Rob DeSantis. I mean, he suspended his... Let's see what Rob DeSantis wants to tell us. Ron is going to talk.
Greetings from Florida.
But before Ron talks to us, I got to bring Ron on for you guys. Because, I mean, you have to see Ron too. It's only fair. Ron DeSantis decided to drop out of the race. And he decided he's going to back Trump. And we're going to see exactly how this backing Trump works out for Ron DeSantis. Does he mean what he says, or is he out of his mind? You decide after we watch and I explain. Here we go, everybody.
Greetings from Florida. The warmth of being home is a reminder why I've chosen public service. From joining the United States Navy and serving in Iraq, to representing the people in the U.S. Congress, and now serving as governor of Florida. And it reminds me why I decided to run for president, to fight for those who've been forgotten in this country. This is America's time for choosing. We can choose to allow a border invasion, or we can choose to stop it. We can choose reckless borrowing and spending, or we can choose to limit government and lower inflation. We can choose political indoctrination, or we can choose classical education. These choices are symptoms of the underlying struggle to ensure that constitutional government can endure and that Western civilization can survive. And we launched this campaign to bring accountability to government, regain sovereignty at our border, and restore sanity to our society. We cannot succeed as a country if we allow our nation to be invaded, our currency to be debased, our cities to crumble, and our kids to be indoctrinated.
So until this point, everything he said, Vivek Ramaswamy said, everything he says, Nikki Haley has said, everything he said, Krispy Kreme's Chris Christie said, everything he said, Senator Scott said, everything he said, Donald J. Trump has said. Hey, man, do you have something of your own, or are you just a talk piece for generic sayings of different stuff that will just come out of your mouth that makes you the same as any Republican that's not even in government who will say the same thing you just said because that's what they're worried about? Let's continue with what he wants to say.
The DC elites who facilitated this mess do not care about you, and they do not work for you. They work for themselves. They seek to accumulate power at your expense to pursue an agenda that is harmful to the American people. Citizens do not serve politicians. It is the duty of politicians to serve you. Talk is cheap.
Up to now, he's spoken for 1 minute and 27 seconds. And he has not told us anything that a common person who's a Republican doesn't know. The government is not there for you to be a slave to them, but rather the government is there to work for you on your behalf, and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I mean, this is every politician knows this.
Actions speak louder than words. Reversing the decline of this nation requires leadership that delivers big results for the people we are elected to serve. I have a record of leading with conviction, championing an agenda marked by bold colors, delivering on my promises, and defeating the people who are responsible for our nation's decline.
Rob DeSantis, newsflash. Whatever promises you made in Florida in one state, well, Donald J. Trump did that in 50 states. I mean, after all, he was president of these United States. I mean, what did he promise that he didn't keep? Donald J. Trump. He told you he was going to build a border wall. He would. The only reason why it wasn't completed is because a bunch of Democrats were doing what donkeys do, kicking everywhere, snowballing it. Nikki Haley was jumping up and down like the chimpanzee that she is, snowballing it so that time will run out. Was he working on it? Yes, he worked on it from the very beginning. He worked on it all the way to the very end. What's your problem? Let's continue.
That is the type of leadership we need for all of America. Now, over the past many months, Casey and I have traveled across the country to deliver a message of hope that decline is a choice and that we can, in fact, succeed again as a nation.
Rob DeSantis, I'm not sure if you know how to read a calendar. You weren't running around for many months. Rather, you were running around for a year. Up and down and up, side to side, up and down, side to side, up and down, from this angle to that angle. from this state to that state, from this city to that city, blah, 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 just going back and forth like a robotic retard. You went everywhere and nowhere. Don't lie to the American public. We don't have a short memory like you.
Nobody worked harder, and we left it all out on the field. Now, following our second place finish,
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, people of the world, especially you, the American. I mean, nobody worked harder than him. I mean, think about it. Who worked harder than Ron DeSantis? Don't bring up Vivek Ramaswamy. Mr. Ramaswamy didn't work harder than him. I mean, Vivek did go everywhere in Iowa. And Vivek did start before him. But come on. You can't blame this guy for saying he's worked the hardest. And then we have Donald Trump. Donald Trump worked harder than him. Flying all over the place to this court, that court, blah, 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 yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But then again, in his world, no one works harder than him. Continue.
in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews.
He prayed and deliberated over the fact that he came in second in Iowa. What you praying about? I mean, you say prayer for something that normally you don't know what is going to happen, and you're going to continue your path, but you want God to help you get through it. You're quitting. What is there to pray about? That's how you know it's retarded. He doesn't believe what he says. He couldn't have sat there and made up the garbage coming out of his mouth. But continue. After all, he's supposed to support Donald J. Trump, and it's been 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources. We don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. I'm proud to have delivered on 100% of my promises, and I will not stop now. It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. They watch his presidency get stymied by relentless resistance, and they see Democrats using lawfare this day to attack him. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge. He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed over corporatism that Nikki hates.
So the people want to give Donald Trump a chance. They don't like him. So now he's anus hurt because people choose Donald J. Trump and not him. People saw how the Democrats got in Donald Trump's way, but not him. And he has problems because of this, he'll support him. He'll just, but listen, let's continue.
Really represents the days of putting Americans last, of kowtowing to large corporations, of caving to woke ideology are over. I thank all of our passionate supporters who have stood by us through it.
Donald J. Trump is better than Biden. He's superior. And he's signed to, support whoever is the nominee. And, no one's had anything thrown harder than it's been thrown at this guy. I mean, he was standing there and taking shots by a hard baseball ball in the forehead all day, every day. Continue.
At all, that we had people volunteer to come to Iowa in the middle of a blizzard to knock on doors and make phone calls touched us dearly. No candidate had more thrown at him, but no candidate had so many committed volunteers and staff.
I mean, the guy couldn't find 2 people in Iowa to go and knock on doors for him. So he had to recruit his workers who work for him while he's governor in Florida, fly them up to Iowa, so that in Iowa they can come and knock on the doors for him. And he says no one has had more thrown at them than him running for president. I mean, Donald Trump is in court. He's getting arrested and taking mugshots. He has to be released from those jails. Then the guy has to come and cook the food, make sure he has all the quality of everything, because you're going to eat like your life depends on it. Someone has to pay the bill. Anyway, let's continue.
Finally, I want to thank my wife, Casey, and our kids, Madison, Mason, and Mamie. Casey's gone far above and beyond in her support for our campaign and for our cause. She's not only a great wife and mother, she's a great American who cares deeply about the future of the country that our kids will inherit. Our kids have seen and done a lot on the
Remember, his kids have seen and done a lot on this trip.
trail, from playing on the famed Field of Dreams baseball site in Iowa to making their first snowman in New Hampshire.
His kids, ladies and gentlemen, they've seen it. They played on a baseball field and they made a snowman. I mean, think about it. His kids, they played on a baseball field and they made a snowman. I mean, how many of you can say you've done something like that? I mean, some of us, we grew up when Saddam Hussein was bombing the city we lived in, and we had to worry about a bomb falling on our head, literally. But no. Rob DeSantis's kids have seen and done a lot. They played on a baseball field. They made a snowman. I mean, think about it. Honestly, think about it. You at home right now, you didn't make a snowman, did you? You never played on a baseball field. As a matter of fact, if I ask, yes, you, the one I'm pointing to you right now, that's right, you. If I point to you and say, have you even seen a baseball field? You're going to say, no. You see, his kids have seen more than you. He must be correct. He must be correct. What a dumb ASS. Continue, dumb ASS.
They are one of the reasons we fight so hard for what we believe in. Winston Churchill once remarked that success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
If Winston Churchill had said that, he'd be rolling in his grave right now. Because what he said, you blumbered it and threw it on the garbage, and I guess some raccoons came and urinated on it. Because obviously you could not say what Winston Churchill was trying to say, and now you just changed everything that the poor guy was trying to say, and he's there sitting there doing this, hitting himself in the forehead, thinking, what did I ever do wrong other than invade Iran in World War II and create a starving 10-year gap for them where they had no food? But, other than doing that to Iran and taking out their legitimate king, what else did I do to Iran to deserve this monkey come along and try to say that I said something that I've never said in my life?
While this campaign has ended, the mission continues. Down here in Florida, we will continue to show the country how to lead. Thank you, and God bless.
No, Rob DeSantis, you're not going to show anybody how to lead. Donald J. Trump is going to show everybody how to lead. And we're going to get to how to lead with Donald J. Trump a little bit later on. So you just sit tight in wherever part of Florida you're in, because obviously from what I'm hearing, the people of Florida don't seem to like you anymore either. And we're not talking about the Democrats, we're talking about the Republicans. And we're back to our screen share. You'll get it shortly in a few seconds. The next link is from the New Hampshire voting. Obviously, I picked this one from New York Times because New York Times is one of those staunch Democrats who hates Donald Trump. They announced that Donald Trump was the winner of the primary, but here's the catch. For the last 4 days, it's stuck on 95% of the votes. We still don't know what's going on with the last 5%. Looks like what happened in the race between Donald Trump and Biden is happening also in New Hampshire, where people don't know how to read a ballot. I mean, these ballots, they got super glued on the ground, and now no one knows. They can't find them. I mean, you know how hard it is to take it off? No. They got problems. But anyway, according to what they already have, supposedly Donald Trump won by 54.3%. Nikki Haley came in at 43.3%. Ron DeSantis, who's already out, still got 0.7%. Now, they say that the total of 322,025 was, the votes that was collected amongst everybody. Which brings us to the next video, and we are going to share that with you so that you will also have the video. I'm just waiting for you to also have the video. Once you have it, we will go through. Awesome. You have the video. Now, in case if the volume is not high enough, whatever he says, I'm going to say so that you can hear it.
It's interesting, 70% of Haley's voters tonight were not registered Republicans. And yet the former president is winning by about 11.5% at this hour.
70% of the voters for Nikki Haley were not Republicans. What were they? Were they green aliens that came from Mars? Were they elephants coming from Asia and Africa? Were they gorillas? Were they pandas? Maybe they were pandas from China. No, it wasn't them too. Okay, I got it. They were sharks. They jumped out of, the tornado, because in the movie, that's how they came out of the water. They travel with tornado. Maybe it was sharks. They traveled with the tornado, and no, it wasn't the sharks. Are you sure? Maybe it was rams. No, it wasn't that. Maybe they were eagles. No. Oh, I got it. They were Democrats. Yep, Democrats. So Nikki Haley had 70% of her voters were all Democrats. Very interesting. Let's go back to our paper and see what we got for you. I gotta wait again because, it takes a little while between what I see on my screen when I'm actually showing the program that's going on YouTube and what everybody else sees when they go to YouTube, which is a delay. But now you have it, thank God. So Nikki Haley, according to the result we saw above, she got 139,469 votes. We also know that the total votes for everybody was 322,025, which means if we subtract the 70% that didn't vote for her and are not Republicans, means Nikki Haley was only able to get 41,841 actual Republican votes. Those are the rhinos. The rhinos are voting for her. Now that means that if we take 97,628 votes that were all Democrats out of the 322,005, we're left with a number of 224,397 votes by Republicans, MAGA and rhinos together. Which means if you take the total amount of the Republicans that voted without Democrats for Nikki Haley was only able to get 18.7% of the Republicans to vote for her. And that means that Donald Trump now ended up with the reality of having 97% of all the Republican votes. Nikki Haley got crushed without the Democrats trying to keep it. You might say, Dr. Mossavat, hold on a second. That was Fox News. How can we trust Fox News? I mean, it's not like the opposition had something. Well, I have some great news for you. Because of that, we're going to go to the next video. So let me bring up the next video for you. I will wait for you to have this video on your phone before I continue with it. I am tired as well. Sorry for the yawning. All right, you have it. Well, this is from MSNBC. You see, MSNBC Live at the voting in New Hampshire. The time is there. Everything is there. Let's see what this news anchor wannabe is going to ask this potato tomato celery. Let's see.
Christian, who did you vote for and why? In conversations that I've had here throughout the day.
Let's
Christian, who did you vote for and why?
Well, Christian, who did you vote for and why? Why? Let's see what Christian's going to say.
Yeah, so thank you. I voted for Nikki Haley, and it was certainly a strategic vote.
Yeah, so thank you. I voted for Nikki Haley, and it was a strategic vote. Okay, what was a strategic? Let's see the strategy. Let's see.
I think the DNC is fairly resolute in their nomination for Joe Biden. And while I would...
DNC is resolute. They got that vote for Joe Biden. They don't need no Joe Biden.
Vote for her in a general election, particularly on our differences with climate change solution, a women's right to bodily autonomy, or incarceration rates. I think a vote for Nikki Haley helps diminish Trump's influence in the RNC and their nomination, but is also a vote towards democracy.
And Christian is emblematic.
I think a vote for Nikki Haley is a vote for democracy. It diminishes Trump's chances, blah, 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 blah. And now let's see what this retard over here, who thinks he's a news anchor, is going to say.
Of so many conversations that I've had here throughout the day. Rachel?
Alex, Christian, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's good to have that perspective.
So now they send it back to the news agency. The guy says the same type of talking that he did with this Christian character, this question and answer. He's had this discussion with many like this Christian. I mean, this is on live TV. Democrats are admitting that they've showed up in mass so they can just do this vote and walk away to the next area in whatever state that they need to walk out in front of and say the same stupid shit. Now we're gonna go from this one to another one. Because you might say, well, that was just one. Come on.
Nikki Haley.
No. We're gonna show you some more and more. I'm waiting for it to show up in yours. I gotta see what's going on. Why it didn't show up in yours. It should show up. If it doesn't, I'll resend it again. But it should show up. Okay, perfect. You have. All right. The last one was MSNBC. This one is CNN. You all know CNN. Let's see what CNN is going to show. I mean, same thing. You see New Hampshire primary? Let's see what they do. Live CNN. Let's see.
Nikki Haley.
And why did you vote for Nikki Haley?
It's a vote against Trump.
Nikki Haley. The question was, who did you vote for? Nikki Haley. And why Nikki Haley? Because it's not Trump, okay? It's not Trump. Not Trump. Let's see what else he says.
I think it would be better to have her against Biden.
I think it'd be better to have her against Biden.
In the elections, and it would be Trump and her.
Do you consider yourself generally independent Republican?
I think it's better to have her because, you know, I wouldn't vote for her when it comes to the general election. But I think it's better we have her than we have Trump. I mean, they're all afraid of Trump. They're like little mice in front of a cat. And they're all afraid for their life. Oh, no, not Trump, not Trump. Nikki Haley's better than Trump for us. We have a chance of beating Nikki Haley. And then look what happens.
Or Democrat?
Democrat.
Oh, you guys missed it. Let's go again. It's very important.
Generally, independent Republican or Democrat?
Democrat.
So
No, I know you guys missed it.
Then it would be Trump and her.
do you consider yourself generally independent Republican or Democrat?
Democrat.
So when you undeclared, you voted for Nikki Haley. If it was Nikki Haley against Joe Biden in the general election, who are you voting for?
Joe Biden.
So now she asked, who would you vote for? This guy wants to vote for Joe Biden. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, I changed my vote this morning and went.
Let me come back to you guys and share it. Here's the guy from MSNBC that MSNBC is trying to badger. Let's look at the guy that's being badgered by MSNBC over his voting in New Hampshire. Look what they're doing to the guy.
Yeah, I changed my vote this morning and went, instead of voting for Haley, I voted for Donald Trump this morning.
Instead of going this morning when you guys were all trying to push everybody, you had people lined up that were pushing everybody. Hey, register and vote for Nikki Haley. Instead of being around your Democrats, this guy came in the afternoon when the Democrats were long gone and he voted for Donald Trump. And now she's all upset. Why did you come in now? Why you didn't come in the morning? And now he's going to answer the question.
Morning.
Yeah,
Why?
You have a good day.
I think the primary's over. I think that, Mr. Trump's going to be our next candidate.
Wonderful answer. Primary's over, man. You got to vote for Trump. What you talking about? It's over. All right. Let's go back to the sharing screen. This is your next link. You see that there's the link for what we're going to talk about. Qatar spy operation targeted GOP lawmakers. Okay. January 21st, 2024. It just happened a few days ago. The oil-rich Gulf state, it's not Gulf, it's Persian Gulf. Okay, there's no such thing as just Gulf. It's not Gulf, it's Gulf of Mexico. Okay, there's no such thing as golf. What are you talking about? The sport golf? Golf. No, it's Persian Gulf state. Okay, and in reality, Qatar was part of the province of Bahrain that belongs to Iran. In any case, Bahrain hired former CIA agent companies to discredit Senator Ted Cruz and other lawmakers who oppose Hamas and his parent organization, the Home for the Muslim Brotherhood. Here's another link. This one says an attack on Hamas is an attack on Qatar. An attack on Muslim Brotherhood is an attack on Qatar. Qatar wants to join the World War III, ladies and gentlemen. The next link takes us to Taiwan. Taiwan is now wondering, debating, can America really help me if China attack? I mean, I see what they did in Ukraine and Israel. That's not very good. Biden is making America look like shit in front of even Taiwan. Even Taiwan now says, can America really do anything? Because they see Joe Biden. They know he can't do nothing. I mean, the links are there. I provide you guys with the links. Let's go to the next one. This is Joe Biden trying to create a state in United States where in the future World War III, it can legitimately be everywhere on this planet, including here in United States. I'll wait until you get the video on your screen too. I will explain to you everything he says I'm going to say. I'm going to try to even say it in his accent. Then I'm going to explain to you what's going on. This is what Biden wants to come to United States. This guy. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Listen, this is very important.
Please, by the way, you are smart enough, you would know who I am.
This, by the way, if you are smart enough, you would know who I am. I mean, by your talking, we already know who you are. But continue.
You are really not smart enough to know who I am. But
really, you are not smart enough to know who I am. Who are you? Tell us, tell us.
soon you're gonna know who I am.
Soon you're going to know who I am.
Very easy.
Very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
What? No, believe me, I am much better than that.
The entitlement, guys.
Soon.
Listen to it again.
Please, by the way, you are smart enough, you would know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys.
Soon.
Okay, you all heard that, right? Remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you people from around the world, they think, and they have a saying. There is a legitimate saying that they're taught. Stupid Americans. Stupid Americans, right? Well, this guy talking like this, just by the accent, you can tell that this guy is from the area of Russia or those states that used to be part of USSR, because he has to talk like this, you know? Soon you will know who I am, you know? He has to talk like this. So, as smart as he thinks he is, We are smarter. And now I'm going to take you back in and share with you the screen. And we are going to take a look at who that donkey is that he thinks he's so smart. And the Americans, you are not smart enough to find out who he is. You know, who he is. He's going to tell you. That's the guy. You saw him in the video. That's him. And that's also him. From several years ago. Who's this? You're not smart enough to know who I am. Who I am. His name is Movsum Samadov. He is the head of the Islamic Party of Azerbaijan, another province of Iran that was separated from Iran due to the handiworks of the Russians and made into its own country, copycatting the names of two other Iranian provinces. They used to be called Aravan. Aravan now turned into Azerbaijan by the Russians. This guy was in prison for 12 years. What was his mistake while he was in prison? What did he get charged with? For smuggling military-grade weapons and drugs, narcotics. Why was he smuggling weapons? Well, obviously, he was doing so because he wanted to do a terror attack in Azerbaijan. Who would that favor? Two countries, Islamic Republic of Iran and Russia. Now, he's over here. They released them from jail over there. They said, we're tired of feeding you. We're tired of keeping a shelter in the prison over your head and putting clothes on you. Well, we'll sign an agreement with you. We'll kick you out of the country, send you over there. You come over there and say your life is in danger and you can stay in the United States of America. Isn't that good? And what do you think this guy's going to do for work? Tomorrow, when he needs a job, he's going to pick up his phone, call his allies. Hey, send me the weapons down here. We can deal with it over here. And then he'll find a bunch of dumb idiots who don't have two brain cells to rub to each other. And he'll get them to follow his little Islamic cult. And next thing you know, they're going to blow up statues around the city. They will blow up people. They'll commit terror inside people's homes. Now, you know, the same thing terrorists always do. And that brings us to the next video.
I will admit.
Because, you know, Mr. You're not smart enough to know who I am. And soon, you will know who I am. Well, Mr. Who I am. As tough as you think you are, looking like olive oil from Popeye the Sailor Man, we have our own tough guy too. And once the video comes up for you guys, I'll play it. Let's see what Donald Trump says.
I will immediately restore and expand the Trump travel ban on entry from terror-plagued countries, and I will implement strong ideological screening for all immigrants. If you hate America, if you want to abolish Israel, if you sympathize with jihadists, then we don't want you in our country. We don't want you.
I will immediately, he's talking about when he becomes president, he will immediately put the travel ban back on and extend it so that it covers more of these countries, so that the terrorists can stay away, so we don't have any more If you were smart, you would know who I am. But you are not smart to know who I am. Okay, to kick out idiots, terrorists, thieves, rapists, and murderers like this. If you were smart, you would know who I am. Who Biden has thrown the red carpet for to come over here so this guy can kill Americans on American soil so Biden can get a little bit richer. Donald J. Trump says, I'm going to start that ban and we're going to kick him out. And he says, if you don't like America, if you don't like Israel, we don't want you over here. You can get the hell out. And the people clap. The people like it. People are enjoying what Donald Trump's saying. And now, a little personal. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two Islamic Republic of Iran spies. They jump. They come to our YouTube channel. They subscribe. And they wait a little while. They want to create a file on me. So they watch and review the programs. Then they unsubscribe. Then they go to my Telegram channel. And on my Telegram channel, they subscribe. And they come under my programs and posts. And they put their human feces prophet. Because the prophet of Islam, his name is Qatam, not Muhammad. Muhammad is a title he gave himself when he supposedly started proclaiming that he's a prophet. The name Muhammad means the praised one. That is the name of Jesus. That is the name of God. You praise God. So if you praise Muhammad, then what is God? So Muhammad was the title he gave himself because he was sick and tired of his name. His name was Qatam. Qatam literally means human feces. They used to call him human feces. His family called him human feces. His wife called him human feces. His friends called him human feces. Everyone around town called him human feces. The guy was sick and tired of being called human feces, so he started to call himself the praised one. And now the Muslims are sticking with the praised one because they're too ashamed of what the guy's real name is. But his real name is Qatam, which means human feces. So in my Telegram page, they keep bringing the picture of human feces and putting it there. So I started talking about human feces because, you know, there's a saying, customer always right. So if the customer wants human feces, we'll talk about human feces. So now, instead of putting a human feces, when they get really upset, now they decided we'll put a picture of a clown. Well, if it's clown that they want, clown is what they're going to get. So we searched high and far. We looked because these guys are from Islamic Republic of Iran and they are Shia Muslim. We decided to find for them the video of their first imam, their first leader after Muhammad, you know, human feces ghatha. We decided to find the video of Ali ibn Abi Talib, who all the Shias supposedly follow Ali. That's what the name means. Shia is short form for Shiatul Ali, meaning followers of Ali. So this Ali that we found is their first imam, okay? The first leader for the Shia Muslims. And we looked and we found there is a lot of talk about what he ate. Apparently he liked milk. Apparently, he liked hard bread that would break normal people's teeth. Hence, he must have a jaw stronger than a human being's jaw, and he has to have teeth that can crush harder than a human being's teeth, so he can have his hard, dry bread. And as far as we are told, his enemies, okay, the enemies of Ali ibn Abi Talib, apparently, when they were his enemies, their faces turned into dogs. But we know that this is told to us by the mullahs of Iran, the clergymen of the Shia religion of Iran. And whatever they say, you have to turn it upside down for it to be reality. Like when Cockroach Ali Khamenei, the spiritual leader of these guys in Iran, says this is the year of production in Iran, we find out it's not the year of production in Iran. Rather, it's the year of import into Iran. And whenever he says something, it's the exact opposite of that. So, with what they said, we had to turn it upside down, which means his head was the head of a dog. I don't want to ruin it for you. So, I'm going to start that video, and then I am going to share it with you so that you will have a chance to see it. I will wait for you to have it on your screen. And once you have it on your screen, I will play the video. This is live footage of the first leader of the Shia Islamic faith, their main leader, Ali ibn Abi Talib, and we are going to see how he eats his food. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Ali ibn Abi Talib eating food. And by the way, Ali ibn Abi Talib always wore green or black. That's why you see in this picture, he's wearing green. You know, the green is the color of the family of human feces, Ghatam. And they wore green because they wanted to show that they are different from other people because they're from the family. See? Ali ibn Abi Talib, I found them for you. Let's see how much clown business you want. You know, I'll bring you as much clown business. I'll make your imam so clownish for you. Oh, just mess with me. Okay, I'll make sure that you regret every single thing you want to do. Because the programs I do, it opens people's eyes. Even if I'm tired, he'll open it. And if you want to mess with me, Islamic Republic of Iran, you're messing with the wrong guy. I'm your nightmare. I told you that before. And I'm continuing to be your nightmare. I'm going to be your nightmare to the day you guys are gone. And I'll still be your nightmare after that. I'll make sure there's no more Shia Muslims left on the planet. And they all wake up and they all leave this religion. You're messing with the wrong guy. And I want to then talk to you about a story. Two stories. And we'll then, after those two stories, go to our final clip. Story number one. Ron DeSantis, you were talking about you want to be the leader and you're going to show from Florida how we are going to lead. Well, let me show you how Donald Trump leads. In Texas, Governor Abbott does a fantastic job. Finally, he finds a spine. He stands up on the ground and says, you know what? I'm going to protect Texas. First and foremost, he said, yo, Democrats, you have sanctuary cities, eh? Maybe you should now take some of what we've been dealing with for the last 3 years. And he sent these people up north. Go to New York. Go to Chicago. And we saw in Chicago, they threw her off in a puff. And they talked about Governor Abbott. He sends all these people here. Why does he send them here? We don't need them here. And we saw in New York, they threw her off in the puff and cry. Ooh, we can't handle it. Well, too bad. You called yourself a sanctuary city, didn't you? What you expect to happen in a sanctuary city? People who are coming over the border illegally are going to come to sanctuary city, because when Donald Trump wanted to remove them and send them back during his presidency, you said, no, we are a sanctuary city. We will keep them. We will not give them to ICE. So now you're a sanctuary city, but you can't handle it. So now Greg Abbott said, we're going to put barbed wires, razor wires, and all kinds of other things to make sure that no one crosses our border. Well, Biden wanted to cut it. Unfortunately, Biden couldn't do that because no matter how much he can get the Supreme Court to go in his pocket, we have a man named Donald J. Trump, who is the former president and soon to be the new president of the United States. The man who's not only making the United States great again, but the rest of the world great again. Because he inspires people to stand up in their own countries and fight for their countries like he fights for his. Donald J. Trump sent out a text in Truth Social, and he asked all Republican governments in the different states in the United States to stand up, support Greg Abbott. And 34 states stood up, including Ron DeSantis, who didn't want to fall behind. They're going to be sending their National Guards down. Noam Christie from South Dakota decided to send razor wires as well. And even the Border Patrol decided to back off and say, hey, we don't want any problem. No. We are not going to get our heads into a sheep fight or goat fight with the National Guards of 34 states. No, we're not going to cut nothing off. Throwing the ball back into Biden's hand. Let's see if Biden wants to create a civil war or not. That's how you lead, Rob DeSantis. And now we go to our final story before our last clip. This is the story of the old woman and the snake. Of course, Donald J. Trump tells the better version, the longer version. Due to time, we're going to keep it shorter, but I'm going to tell the whole story, just short. Take out some verses that you can take out. An elderly woman was walking by at a park and saw a snake in the cold days of a winter day. Shriveled up, frozen, looking like it's about to die. Poor elderly woman felt so sorry, ran up there and picked up the snake, hugged it and said, "You poor baby, I'm going to take you home, warm you up, give you something to eat probably. Make sure that you live so that you can survive the winter. I'll give you shelter." And so she took the snake, put it in the purse to be warm, took her home, put him in front of her fireplace, lit up the fireplace, temperature became hotter. Over that day, the ice was melting off of the snake. By nighttime, the snake was starting to stretch itself. In the morning, the old lady decided to go to work, left the snake the way it was, put some water for it too. When she came home, she saw that the snake is completely stretched out. His colors have returned. She went and she hugged the snake, caressed the snake, said, "You poor baby, you've come back to life. You have such a beautiful skin. It's so nice and scaly. You can see the colors. Oh, these colors are so great." Gave the snake a few kisses too, but then the snake opened its mouth wide as possible and grabbed the old lady's neck, made sure his fangs went deep into the neck, spraying all of that toxinous venom deep, deep, deep into her veins. The woman, out of shock, dropped the snake and said, "I saved you when you were dying. I nourished you. I kept you warm. I did everything for you. I was so kind to you. Why did you bite me when you knew your poison will kill me?" And the snake looked at her and said, "You knew I was a snake before you took me in, and you knew what a snake will do when you pick the snake up in your house." And then the woman died. Well, ladies and gentlemen, these illegal migrants that are coming over your borders, whether they're coming into United States, multiple Western European nations, or Afghani Talibans coming into Iran, they have the same thought process as that snake. If you pamper them and take care of them, there will come a day when they will tell you, "Soon you will find out who I am," because you are too stupid to find out who I am. If you were smart, you would find out who I am. But soon you will find out who I am. They already threaten you when you ask them a simple question of, "Where are you coming from? Where are you planning on going? And what do you plan on doing when you get there?" When you ask them this, they look at you as stupid Americans. You are not smart enough to find out who I am. But soon you will find out who I am, because if you were smart, you would have known who I am. They're telling you in your face. Show it to your Democrat friends and tell them, "Here's the guy who plans on blowing you up inside your country. When he blows up his bomb, he will not care if you are a Democrat, Republican, if you're one of the undecided Green Party, a Libertarian, or whatever else you want to name yourself. He's not going to care if you're black or if you're brown, like Nikki Haley says she's brown. They will not care if you're a redneck. They don't care if you're Asian. They don't care what you are. They want you dead. That's why he says, "Soon you will find out who I am." Comrade is going to show you who he is. And the only way for you to stop them is to vote for Trump. Because Biden is throwing a red carpet for Mr. "You're not smart enough to know who I am." So he can tell you, "Soon you will find out who I am," when he goes kaboom in your neighborhood. But we have a man named Donald J. Trump who says he's going to deport every single one of them. He's going to kick them out of this country. That means you're going to be safe. That means your children will be safe. You as a Democrat will be safe. As much as you hate the man is your savior. You think he's not? Vote for Biden so that Mr. You're not smart enough to know who I am will blow up your kids with you together. And then when you've been blown up into a smithereens, you will realize Biden was the man who brought you're not smart enough to know who I am, but soon you will know who I am. We're your enemies. With that being said, we're going to show you the last clip so that we can end this on a very high note for you. After all, our program is the program that enlightens you. It's the program that shares with you how you can save yourself. And we are here. There are people like me that talk and want to dismantle people like you're not smart enough to know who I am. And I am your mouthpiece, while he is the mouthpiece of Islamic Republic of Iran, who says death to United States on a daily basis, calls you the greatest Satan. Doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, they're out to get you. That government is out to get you. And they got their foot soldiers here waiting for you. But we also have this man. We have a leader, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to look at our leader. And I hope that you, the Republicans who see this, share it with your Democrat friends, with your libertarian friends, with your undecided friends, with whatever they want to call themselves friends, and see that they also wake up so they can see and understand what is the reality, so that they, like you, can vote for this man, the true leader. Let's look at his ad.
Run, boy, run. This world is not meant for you. You run, boy, run. They're trying to catch you. Run, boy, run. Running is a victory. Run, boy, run. Beauty lies behind the hills. Run, boy, run. The sun will be guiding you. Run, boy, run. They're trying to stop you. Run, boy, run. This race is a prophecy. Run, boy, run. Break out from society.
We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So with American pride swelling in our hearts and American courage stirring in our souls, I say these words to you tonight. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, we will be ending the program. If you like what you've heard, if you think that this is useful, if you've learned something, use your finger, please subscribe, hit that subscribe button. The more we work as a team, you and me, the better we can work on getting people to open their minds and open their eyes and change and work for the good. In order to do that, I need you and you need me. I'll do the talking. I'll be the mouthpiece. You got to subscribe and you got to send this program out to as many people as you know. And when you do, tell them to also subscribe. Hit the like button, leave a comment underneath this program. Make sure that this program uses and forces the bots in YouTube, the algorithm, to push it so that it can advertise it, and other people who, like you, have seen other programs, and maybe that way they can also click on this and become as one of our members. There's 14,500 people who watch our program on a weekly basis. YouTube dummies down that number to 100, to 150, 80 people, and so on. They lie because I see it on Telegram, and they're linking the link that I send over there. They're clicking on it to come over here to watch it. 14,500 people are watching our program between the Persian and the English language on a weekly basis. Those people who are watching, you have a responsibility as you watch it on a weekly basis to now come and click on that subscribe button so that we can grow this channel, so that this channel can reach 100,000 people, 200,000 people, 1,000,000 people, so we can have a proper impact both in the Persian language and the English language. Don't wait for Sharia law to come to your town. It's coming. You saw the man who says, "You're not smart enough to know who I am." He's coming with the Sharia mind process. He's coming to destroy you. The only way for you to survive is if we can open more people and enlighten more people to these people, so that when you see them in your streets, you can watch them, monitor them, and notify the proper authorities of who they are, so they can watch them and so they can monitor them and save you guys from the day when they try to smuggle big weapons, create big bombs to hurt you and your family. They would be stopped before they can do it. The only way to do that is by subscribing and by getting others to subscribe, so we can have eyes and ears all over this great land. Until tomorrow afternoon, when we do our next program and next part of Musa al-Kazim, the sadistic serial killer, I leave all of you in the hands of Jesus. God bless every single one.